better look at me. I'm going to pass it to Corn after I say one thing. That's a W. Let's eat one. Let's eat one. That's a W. How many people want to eat a W tonight? How many eat a W tonight?
Brian, big weekend in the NBA. Anything else happening this week or?
No, I don't think so.
No, nothing that you want to talk about today?
No, nothing at all. I don't think there's anything else going on this weekend besides NBA playoffs.
And my list that I sent you that players would rather have over Trae Young.
Yes.
Pretty long list, right?
It's a long ass list.
Yeah.
It's a long. How many people was it? Oh, God, I need to look at it. It was like 32.
I should have numbered it, but it was probably pushing 40.
Well, I'm sure even trying to number it was a pain in the ass. No, it's got to be, it's pushing 40 for sure.
Yeah. Well, the first ones were like all-stars and
dude, this is like 60. What are you talking about?
No, it's not 60, Brian. It's a lot, right?
21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26.
This makes for a good podcast, but while Brian counts, we're going to start with the NBA.
50
and then
53? I think I counted? Yeah.
I'm being real.
Yeah.
I'm being real. And it's okay, we're going to talk about the NBA, then we're going to do the NFL draft. Brian has his first round mock. We're going to post it on Twitter, Instagram, all that. But yeah, the Trae Young thing, I don't think he's not good, but what he does, like how he plays, makes him not good. Does that make sense?
Kind of. I need a little bit more.
The reason, okay, so like the reason he has like the stats that he has is because he has the green light. If you put him in a Bradley Beal role or like a third option role, I don't think he'd average more than 18 points or stay on the floor. Okay. Like if you put him with other stars who need the ball, there's no way. It's kind of like it's like Jeremy Grant. I don't know if you know who that is. Jeremy Grant played on the Pistons when they were really bad, and I think he averaged like 24 points a game. But then he went to Portland. Was it Portland? He either went to Portland or Denver, and like he barely played because of what he does. Like everyone in the NBA can play, and if you give everyone the green light, they're going to be able to score. But it just depends on like how like the efficiency and how they play and all that. But anyway, Trae Young, all he can do is shoot, and that's the issue. He can pass too, but like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
The intangibles, like people compare him to Steph Curry. He doesn't. First of all, he's not as big as Steph Curry. Steph Curry is like 2 inches taller and probably weighs 40 pounds more. Steph Curry actually tries on defense. And when he doesn't have the ball, if you ever watch Golden State, the reason I like watching Steph the most is because of what he does when he doesn't have the ball. He's running all over the place. When Trae Young doesn't have the ball, he's just standing there. That's all I'm saying. And I don't know why I'm going on this tangent, but I was really bored the other day, and I sent Brian 53 names that I'd rather have over Trae Young because I don't want to sign up for the Trae Young experience, and that's all I'm saying. And you were saying that you, as being like a more casual fan, that's like wild to you.
Yes, absolutely. Because especially it's a big name, right? And you remember him from college, like in the NCAA tournament and max contract player, like we talked about. It just be surprising that you'd have that many guys over him because 53 guys, what is that? That's basically you take him over 2 guys per team essentially over him, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah. Well, my first one was Derek White.
Yeah.
But then
that was the first one we talked about.
If you saw what he did in the first game against the Magic, he had like 6 threes and put up 30 points. He plays hard defense. I mean, he won a gold medal. He actually played in the Olympics with all those guys. Like that's like the guy you want. You don't want to build your team around that guy, but you don't have to because he's not making the money that Trae Young's going to make.
I actually think you made a good reference of like he would make sense for Chicago at this point. I think that makes a ton of sense because Chicago doesn't have that star player. Like you're saying before, he can't work well with other players. He needs to be the star player. Honestly, I'd take that in Chicago at this point. And I think I said the same thing. I was like, I'll try anything to get out of these. Like, I don't know if it would help, but it would be different, right? Than sitting in this forever ending playing game loss that the Bulls are in. But I think it would make sense. It could help put seats, like fans in seats. another star player. I don't know. I think a lot of Chicago fans are kind of at the point where they don't trust anything that's going to happen anymore with that organization. But it's a selling point for fans. And he'd be the star, right? He'd get to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is. It's like desperate fan bases will ask for that, but you won't win anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but we don't win anything anyway.
Exactly. So I guess it'll be exciting. He'll put up 40 points every now and then. He'll make an all-star game here and there. I mean, he's been an all-star the last 4 to 5 years. But
it'll feel like Zach LaVine from like 4 years ago all over again.
Exactly. I mean, exactly. It's exactly right. Like Zach LaVine can't be good because he needs the ball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
and he can't carry a team, and he's not going to be the sole reason that your team is 4, 5, 3, anywhere inside the playing game, right? As perfect example for the Hawks this year. What were they? Did they had a 9 seed coming into this, or the 10? They might have been the 10. I can't remember, but
they beat the Bulls.
Exactly. Yeah, they beat the Bulls.
Okay, so then they were 9 or 10 seed.
9 or 10 seed, yeah. And if your team's not winning, then what's the point of like this star that you're going to pay all this money?
Yeah. Anyway, have you been watching the playoffs at all?
Yeah, I actually watched a little bit this weekend, more so than I obviously have during the regular season.
What stood out to you?
I don't know. I watched a little bit of the Warriors game. We were kind of texting back and forth between the Warriors game, and I almost doubled down on my money line bet when they were losing in the first quarter. And I think they were down. God, what were they down? Like 8 in the first quarter, I think. It was still early on, or maybe it was just like 6, and they were like plus 200 money line, and I almost doubled down. And then I sat on it. I didn't place it. And then obviously they won. That was a game that we talked about leading up last week. I took them as one of my picks, which I'm glad it hit. But I agree with you. It was fun watching the Warriors play.
It is, yeah.
It was fun to watch Warriors play. Thunder obviously demolished the Grizzlies.
That was insane. I watched the whole game. I was like hoping to get to 60.
Just an absolute ass kicking. But yeah, no, it was fun to watch. It was good to have playoff basketball back. Knicks Pistons was a fun game. I think it's gonna be a fun series, kind of like we talked last week. And then Lakers losing, I was a little surprised by. I didn't expect them to get their ass.
You're surprised by that?
I think I told you when we talked about this a couple weeks ago, they were kind of my sleeper pick to come out of the West. I just felt like they, maybe that's just me feeding into the media BS. Because I was going
to say, did you just get hired by ESPN or what?
That's what I mean. Because I don't follow basketball super, super closely. So it's probably just from what I read and what I see because they're talked about so much. But I don't know. I just thought with Luka and LeBron, I felt like they're going to win some games, I guess, more so than anything else.
I agree. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I bet on the Wolves to win tonight because it just looked bad. Like Jackson Hayes got played off the floor, and he's like their only center. And then you have Rudy Gobert, and Naz Reid puts up more than 20 points, and he's their backup center for the Wolves. So like it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, do you think that OKC beating Memphis by 50 and SGA not having a good game makes you feel like he shouldn't win MVP?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I think just because he was. I get your point. I get where you're going with this because they were able to win by 50 without him playing well. That means his team is fantastic, and I get where you're going with that.
Got a great team,
but yeah, he does have a good team. I guess not just because you're in the playoffs now. I don't know. It's a tough question. It's a tough question.
Did you watch any?
What do you think?
No, I mean, well, SGA's had I think Bill Simmons was talking about it. He's had had the best offensive season since Michael Jordan in the early 90s. And like what he's done, he's won 68 games. They easily could have won 70 if they didn't let off the gas at the end of the season. He's the leader of that team. And for that reason, it's a good conversation. I mean, I think Jokic is the same way. Like, flip a coin for me.
Yeah, I would probably triple-double almost in his game.
Who?
Jokic.
He did have one.
Did he have one?
Yeah, but they lost.
I knew it was close.
But he also had 7 turnovers. But yeah, I think with the MVP thing, it's flip a coin. Either way, it wouldn't affect me. But with Jokic, I think if you combined both those teams, and took let's just take SGA off of OKC, combine Denver and OKC, you won't find a guy who played for Denver as like the second, or like Denver wouldn't have the fifth best player on that team. Does that make sense?
Really? So you're saying essentially you take SGA out. You can, yeah. So you combine both teams, you take SGA out, you'd have Jokic, and then you'd have 4 Thunder players as your top 5.
Jalen Williams, he was an all-star. I mean, you can go Chet Holmgren, Hartenstein. This is in no order. Aaron Wiggins, Lou Dort, Kason Wallace. Did I forget anyone?
That Nuggets Clippers series is going to be sick too.
But then it'd be like Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray would maybe be 4 or 5.
I always felt like Jamal Murray was good.
Do you know how many All-Stars he's been to?
2. 0? Really? I don't know why. I don't know why.
0 All-Stars.
I bet a lot of 3-pointers on him. Maybe that's why I feel like he was good, because I used to do a lot of 3-point parlays with him in it. But okay, wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, there's no All-Stars on Denver's team. Like Christian Braun, Aaron Gordon.
Yeah, that Clippers Nuggets series is gonna be fantastic.
It's gonna be
insane. You covered your first bet. You had Clippers plus 2.5. They lost by 2. Was it Saturday?
Yep. Yep.
And then a 3-point win last night.
Yeah, of course.
Is that your favorite series right now in the playoffs?
I think them and T-Wolves Lakers is the best. Those are good. But Kawhi last night, did you see any of that game?
No, I didn't. I didn't watch it last night.
39 points, 15 and 19 from the floor. Just defense was unbelievable. Like it's the guy never plays, and then all of a sudden he just play like he was the best player on the floor yesterday, and Jokic was the other guy
on the floor.
Yeah. Like I think he's the only one in the NBA right now who could do that.
They're just wild to think about, because when you think about Kawhi, all you think about is the injuries and the not playing. And
he doesn't play all year, and then all of a sudden, like he's ready. I mean, maybe this is exactly what he wanted, right?
Yeah.
He's ready to go. He's fresh. It's crazy. Like watching, I was like, and when his shot goes in, it looks so pure.
Back iron.
Just back iron. Yeah. It's kind of flat. It kind of looks like Kobe.
Yeah,
you know,
a little flat. Yeah, back iron straight down. Who do you think wins that series? If you had to put money on it right now,
I think the Clippers, man. Because
you think the Clippers?
Again, it's the same thing with after Jokic. Who do you have? And with the Clippers, you have Kawhi, you have James Harden, All-Star. You have Norman Powell, who should have been an All-Star. Zubac, who's probably the 3rd best center in the league, and then a bunch of like pretty solid role guys like Bojanovic or something like that, some Serbian name. You have
Bogdanovic.
Yeah. Why am I
Chris
blanking?
Dunn? I didn't know Chris Dunn. I didn't even know he was playing the Clippers.
EuroLeague MVP last year.
Yeah.
God, man, I'm blanking right now. They traded for a few other guys. I was on a roll too.
Man, Chris Dunn was a Bulls legend, like 10 years ago, or not 10 years ago, like 6 or 7 years ago.
Chris Dunn's been in and out of the league.
I know.
Nick Batum, Ben Simmons is getting playing time, which is kind of weird, but it's weird that he's on that team. But like a guy like Amir Coffey, who was one of like their go-to guys off the bench this year, doesn't even play anymore. Derek Jones Jr., who played on the Mavs last year in the finals, like they have some. It's going to be tough. I think the Clippers are going to win that one.
Okay.
They split in Denver, going back to LA.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's a good series. It's a fun series. I think we talked about it leading up to that was going to be one of the best series of the first round. One other thing I wanted to talk about was, did you see the thing I sent you on Kyle Kuzma?
Oh, I sent that to you as well, and you double sent it.
Did I send it back to you? Oh, okay. Yeah. The Tony Snell meet. It's both from Milwaukee, though. I think Tony Snell was playing from Milwaukee when he did it, too.
That's crazy.
I'm pretty sure.
The one I sent you says Tony Snell can rest now.
Yes, yeah.
Because Kuzma... Dude, I've been calling this
The
For I don't know how many
0-0-0-0 stat line.
Like, he's so bad.
Yeah,
I don't understand.
I know you've hated him for as long as I can remember.
I just never understood why everyone loved him so much. He was always on bad teams, and then he had LeBron and AD.
Yeah, it was that little Lakers run that he had.
Yeah, he's terrible. But yeah, that made me happy. They play again tonight.
I'm pretty positive the Tony Snell meme was also when he played for the Bucks. I'm like 99% positive. Also, Bulls legend Tony Snell, stud.
All these bad players.
All these bad former Bulls players who we believed in for a longer period of time than we should have.
He was on Milwaukee when he did it.
Was he? Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah. February 24th, 2017.
February 24th. Okay, yeah.
It wasn't in the playoffs, so at least.
Yeah, it's true.
Didn't seem too bad. But
so who plays tonight? Who do we got tonight? We have.
So tonight we're recording on Tuesday, April 22nd, because Brian's going. Where are you going, Brian?
I'm going to Jamaica.
Yeah, Brian's going to Jamaica this week, so we're getting it done early. Bucks Pacers play at 7. Grizzlies Thunder at 7:30. Timberwolves Lakers at 10.
You know what? I think I'm going to build a 3-leg parlay real quick, one for each game.
Oh, do you want to do it right now?
Yeah, should I build it live right now?
Yeah, let's do it live. I'll
no one else is going to be able to place it because it's going to go out tomorrow. But
that's a good point.
I'm still going to place it. I'm still going to place it. I kind of want to place one for tonight.
Well, hey, if they're listening, they'll know if it hit or not.
Yes, that's true.
All right, what are you thinking?
I kind of like Pacers -4.
Pacers -4.
I kind of like Pacers -4.
Okay.
I kind of like the over of 229.5 in Grizzlies Thunder.
The over?
Yeah, they what did the Thunder put up? 135 a couple days ago?
Yeah, but the Grizzlies only put up like 70.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't like 14.5 though. 14.5 is a tough spread.
I mean, they just won by 51.
I know. What would you do? Would you do 14.5?
I would go under and 14.
Under. Interesting.
That's exactly what hit last time. But you could have gone under and -49.5.
I probably wouldn't even let you go. Wouldn't have let you go that high. All right, I'll take the under. I'll go under. I don't like doing unders. I don't like doing unders, but
I know, but
I'm taking your word for it. And then I do like the over 209.5 in Lakers Timberwolves.
I like that.
Okay.
All right, we're placing it.
Plus 601. Are you placing it too?
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Well, all right, done. We'll see if it works. I'll tweet it out. We'll see if it hits.
Yeah. No, I saw that the ratings are up 17% from last year.
Oh, in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Nice.
Averaging 4.4 million.
It's good.
After what everyone was talking about this year about how
low the ratings were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just a play to,
There's some good storylines though. I think there's some good series in the first round, which I think helps.
Storylines, Luka.
Yeah, I know. Luka.
And Nico, what did you think about that Nico Harrison interview?
So I sent it to you, like a clip of it, and just hearing the guy talk, I wouldn't want him to run my team. And I think that's kind of what I told you. Like, he comes up like super soft spoken, not very confident. He didn't sound confident at all in his responses that he was giving, which I don't blame him, considering he probably understands that it was a wrong decision. Like, the decision he made was not right.
Mm-hmm.
That was what I noticed more than anything. Like, from the few clips I saw, was this is not a guy that I would want. I want someone who's got a stern, strong voice, super confident. Even if the decision might not have been right, at least express that confidence through that interview, because everyone's going to see this and pick it apart, right? That, I don't know. It was weird to me. I thought it was and then what they asked him, they said, why do you think you should keep your job? And he said, I think I've done a great job here. And I think that was his only response. And it's just like, I don't know. I saw a lot of comments though saying he's doing what ownership wants him to do because they want to move to Vegas.
So there is that conspiracy, but I also I don't think it's specifically that. Also, I just tweeted our bet, so maybe some people could tail it. I don't think it's specifically they want to move to Vegas because I think they're just going to do an expansion and they're going to add Vegas and Seattle and bring Seattle back.
Okay.
But
That'd be sick. Bringing Seattle back would be awesome.
Yeah, it would. But I think ownership wanted to do that, and he was just going what ownership wanted.
It's tough.
And
He's a scapegoat then.
I don't think it's either that or it was mutually agreed to. So ownership, like if ownership fires him, that's a bad look on them because they're like, we had to approve this. So it's our fault too. Does that make sense?
No, I completely agree. I 1,000% agree.
You don't make a trade like that without ownership.
That's approval. A good point. Yes, it's not just him. Regardless of what is the truth or not, it was definitely a joint effort, and he just he's the GM who pulled the trigger, but he got sign off on ownership to make that trade.
100%.
Yeah.
But I get you. I get all that. It's you can't say. But then but like I forget who I heard say this. The Lakers haven't won anything yet.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen with the Mavs. Mm-hmm. So right now it looks bad. Yeah. Yeah.
He did go off for like 40 though, but
their whole team was hurt this year, so it was a year from hell no matter what, but like we don't know what's going to happen. Right now it looks terrible. And it probably will be terrible. But you never know.
And that's it. That's the end.
Yeah. But yeah, just him being in front of a microphone, you don't need to be doing all that.
No.
Just let him.
Well, he called the press conference, didn't he? Like he wanted to do the press conference.
I just don't understand. Like, why even do it? You know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you're going to come off looking like an idiot.
You telling people that you're doing well isn't going to help anything.
No. And he was like so quiet when he said it. I was just like, oh God, I would not want this guy running my team. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would hate to be a Mavs fan. I think that's the only place I'm going to leave it at. I would hate to be a Mavs fan.
Yeah. You have anything else on NBA?
No. Obviously, still early. We're only 2 games into most of these series, if that. So a lot of basketball left. We want to do our bets at the end because let's pick bets again for this weekend.
Yeah, we'll do bets NBA. At the end.
Yeah,
and then let's get to your favorite time of the year or one of them.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite times of the year. Is NFL draft. I am going to be in Jamaica for it, like I said. I'm hoping I can watch it. Fingers crossed. I think I've done some research to figure out how I can connect to my streaming services when I'm overseas, because a lot of streaming services don't work when you're outside the country. So we got some VPNs going so we can change our locations, stuff like that, to make sure we can watch it. And it is one of those things you don't really need to watch. Like you just need you read the picks. You can follow it on social media. They'll tweet them out before they even get picked anyway. Yeah. But I don't know. I just love that. Like I love sitting down watching the draft. It won't be the same obviously this year, but I would rather be in Jamaica. So I'm playing some golf.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever sat down to watch it. I've always just like kind of followed it on my phone. Mm-hmm. I do the same thing with NBA. But is it the same? Are there games for the NBA playing on? There are.
Oh, on Thursday? Really?
Yeah. There's 3 games.
Yeah, it's surprising. What networks are they on? What are they playing on Thursday?
TNT. Yeah, TNT.
Yeah, TNT. Okay. I was going to say, because ESPN's going to be draft for sure. Interesting. Yeah, it's probably a bad move. Probably a bad idea. Do they always do that?
I don't know if it's a bad move. I mean, how many people are really tuning into the draft? Like, I feel like more people do what I do than what you do.
Yeah, probably. I'm curious. I'm going to type it in. I'm going to take a look.
Like the ratings?
Yeah, NFL.
And it's something you can flip back and forth on. It's not like...
Oh, for sure. You watch your team pick or the couple picks leading up to it, and that's it, right? Yeah. Like you watch the first couple, like 5 big names go. If you're Eagles, you're picking last. There's 3 hours in between your pick where you're just like, I probably don't know half these players anyway. Let's just see. I'll turn it back on once I know they're getting close. Yeah.
I do want to ask you something though, because when I was playing all the video games I've been playing yesterday. I was playing with Aaron yesterday, and he mentioned something like, would you trade Trey Hendrickson for the Was it Trey? No, was it? Oh
Probably.
God.
There's been a couple things
up.
out there. There's been a couple things out there. Trey Hendrickson, like trade to the Lions or the Eagles at the back of the draft, and then because he's one of the big names.
I got it. Would you trade Trey Hendrickson for like the 28th pick in the first round, and then package that pick and a future pick to move up to 3 and get Abdul Carter?
Whoa. Okay, hold on. I need to. Okay, so Bengals trade Trey Hendrickson for pick 28. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, and then they take their pick 17 and whatever pick they trade for 28 to move up to 3. So you trade your 2 first-round picks that you have now, number 3 for Abdul Carter. Probably not.
Why? Why are you saying no to that?
Why am I saying no to that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be saying no to it. The only thing I keep going back to, Abdul Carter is probably the best D-line prospect in the last couple of years. There are some character concerns with him.
Oh, yeah, and Laramie Tunsil.
Yeah, Laramie Tunsil.
Jalen Carter.
Okay, so I'm thinking about it. So you would trade. Yes, I would. Okay, I'm scratching. I would absolutely do it because you're getting a pass rusher who's younger, and you're still only using your first round pick. You trade him away just to essentially move up in the draft, and you get a younger version of Trey Hendrickson. Yeah. So yes, I would absolutely. I just need to think about it for a second. I just need to think about what we lost, what we're gaining, and I made it there. I just needed my brain to process it. But yeah,
or what if it's like,
I would do that.
Yeah, I think that's what we were talking about. It made so much more sense yesterday, but yeah, I mean, you would do that.
I would 1,000% do that.
Do you think that's a possibility?
No, 0% chance.
Why?
I don't think.
You don't think they're creative enough?
No, I don't think whoever picked the Giants, who are pick 3, I don't think they would take pick 17 and pick 28. They would want more than that. I think they'd want a future second or a future first. I just don't think it's enough.
What if it's the 2 you get and a future first for Abdul Carter? Because how good your team is right now with Joe Burrow, you're never going to get in the top 10.
So 3 first, you're saying? Yeah, I would do that. I would still do it for 3 first. I think would potentially entice the Giants if they get 3 first-round picks, because they might want to move back anyway to try and take one of these. Because I don't think they're going to take a quarterback at 3. They might want to move back a little bit anyway to try and get their quarterback, and they'll end up with another pick in the first round to get a quarterback and an edge rusher. There's a lot of good edge rushers in this class, so they just get edge rusher 4 or 5 instead of the first edge rusher. I think that would be more realistic. I would still do it with trading a first-round pick next year.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the way you'd have to go. Man. I need to start getting more into the draft because that's actually kind of fun, making stuff.
The draft is fun. Yeah, the draft is fun.
What do you think about?
So I checked the viewership real quick.
Okay.
12.1 million viewers.
That's a lot. I mean, that's a lot.
It's a lot.
Mm-hmm. But for how long? Like, is it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I have no idea.
Like, are they just watching for 5 minutes? Like what you said, like watching their team, and then logging out. But also, you can dual screen probably with an NBA game.
For sure.
That's probably what I'll do.
Or iPad. Yeah, put it up on thing. Probably pull an iPad up and watch it, or watch it on your phone. Yeah. I'm hoping we got a couple TVs wherever we're at, and we're doing the same thing. So
I heard rumors about the Eagles trading AJ Brown and their first round pick to the Patriots for their pick.
And then because Abdul Carter is a Eagles fan to move up to, I saw the same thing. I don't think it's enough. I don't think it would be enough to get all the way up there. But
what about a future first?
Yeah, and then you add a future first. Would you do that? Would you trade AJ Brown, pick 32?
Like AJ Brown, but
you have Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
It's just cool that he's an Eagles fan. That's what makes it fun. Like I
guess, but like I like the fact that they have. I know they're not a throw first team, but the fact that they have AJ Brown and Devonta Smith and Saquon, I think that's cool. But I also know that AJ Brown, probably has like 2 or 3. I mean, that's a lot. Yeah, I would probably do it.
Okay. So you would do pick 32, AJ Brown in a future first?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, just to keep our defense sick.
Yeah. Interesting. Defense is sick anyway. They're going to come away with someone in this draft that they shouldn't get anyway, is my guess. So
Yeah.
That always happens.
Yeah, or just keep it and just trust what they're doing.
I had them taken before. I messed around with my mock drafts a couple times today, but I had them taking Jahai Campbell, linebacker from Alabama, who has some injury stuff coming in, but he should not. There's no way in hell he should make the 32, but the injury concerns. I was like, it just feels perfect that he would fall to the Eagles at 32 and they just get a stud and like hybrid linebacker who can rush off the edge and kind of do everything. But I changed it because he had some positive health news this week, so I changed it and now he's going way higher. But I thought it'd be funny because Eagles typically end up
going higher, huh?
Yeah, there's two linebackers in this class, Jalen Walker and Jahai Campbell, who are pass rushers. They're hybrids, right? They're pass rushers. They play well against the run, and they're great in coverage. So they're not straight linebackers. They provide a lot of pressure off the edge, which is why they're typically picked a little bit higher. So,
okay, before we get into your mock draft,
yes,
are there one or two picks or people that will surprise you where they're being picked that you don't have on your board?
Okay, yeah. So Jackson Dart, quarterback from Ole Miss. I don't know if it would be surprising anymore. I don't have him going in my mock draft today, but I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up going in the first round, like to the Steelers, or someone trades back up for him, like the Saints maybe trading up towards the end of the first round, or Giants maybe. I heard the Giants love Jackson Dart as well. That would be one of them that I don't have on my list today, but would not be surprised to see him go. And then the other one, I think Jalen Milroe from Alabama, the quarterback, another one. Like, it's always the quarterbacks, right? Someone is going to come up for the quarterbacks. He's getting first round buzz. He got invited to go to the draft, which typically means
that's weird.
That they know that he is getting interest in the first round, right?
So many people talk so much shit about him.
I know. I mean, he's an athlete, right?
Yeah.
He's an athlete, and the comps are Lamar Jackson, but he's a way worse passer. He's Lamar Jackson, but a shittier passer. So like people fall in love with Lamar Jackson.
So a running back, because Lamar
yes,
Jackson was supposed to be a running back, apparently.
Yes, essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
So those two, I would not be surprised by. And then let me pick someone from like a different position that. Yeah,
pick like a maybe a name that people would know.
That people would know. Emeka Egbuka from Ohio State, the wide receiver. I had him going in my first round originally. I mixed up some things, and he dropped out of the first. But I think a team like the Packers could be in on him. A team like the Chargers.
Ohio State receivers, huh?
Yeah, they do. A team like the Chargers, maybe, who need a little bit more in the receiver room. He's a little closer to Elad McConkey. So like, I don't know if the Chargers would be one of those teams. Commanders, another Ohio State guy to put with Terry McLaurin. Like, I think he's one of those guys who could fit at the end of the draft that could get some first round buzz. I had him going. I think I had him to the Packers originally. I moved him down. He's no longer in my first round, but I think he's a name most people will know that wouldn't be surprised if he goes in the first round. And he's a fun one, right? It's a fantasy. It's like he'd be one that people would love for fantasy. So
yeah, maybe he'll go to the Eagles.
Maybe. I doubt it. They have two receivers ready. I think we know what the Eagles do. They're going to go D-line, trenches. O-line,
D-line.
O-line, D-line. Like that. I would expect nothing less from the Eagles besides just loading up on O-line, D-line.
Yeah. Yeah. The Nelson Aguilars and those guys
those are gone.
Just like,
those are dead. Those are gone. All right. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah. Tell me, where do you want to start? Do you want to start with number one or what?
Yeah, I want to see if I can do this. I want to see if I can share my screen here.
Okay.
And let's see if this works. And then we can just, because then when we're on, let's see. Here we go. Ha! Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Look at us.
This.
Look at us.
Wow, we're
fancy.
Official. Okay.
Look
there's
at
a whole website
fancy.
for this. All right.
Yeah.
This is interesting.
So there's a ton of websites you can use for this. I'm just going to use PFF because it's one I've used before and it's easier to do.
Okay.
And I figured this way. Go ahead.
Oh, so okay, you didn't show all your guys. That's
perfect.
No,
I'm not showing my picks yet. So I'm going to go through. I have them listed to the side. I'm going to go through and read them off. Like I've built it out already that way.
If you want to watch this, go to our YouTube, Traveling Athlete Pod, and watch Brian Go 1 through 32. All right, now go.
All right. Pick one, and I'm not going to spend a ton of time on all these guys because we're already 30 minutes into this. So I don't want to spend a ton of time on it. Pick one, already said and done. I think everyone knows it's going to be Cam Ward. It's over. They said they're not trading the pick. It's done and over. There's not much to talk about there. Yep, they'll get their quarterback of the future. Hopefully it works out. I get it if you're picking first. Sometimes you got to take a shot at the quarterback. I think a lot of people have him ranked as like a 10 to 15 ranked player, not one, but it's quarterback, so he's going to go first. Pick two, I have the Browns. You got your Eagles hat on?
Have to represent.
Yeah, represent. That's what I wore. I had to wear Bengals to represent
exactly.
As well. Pick two, Travis Hunter. I think he is just
okay.
Second. I think he's the second best player in the draft. I know we talked about it last week. He's one of those guys that I'm not super high on it, and maybe it's just because he plays both ways. I'm just curious to see how it works out. We've never really seen it before. Dion kind of did it, but I don't know. I think this is who they take. It's also who I want them to take. I would rather go up against Travis Hunter than Abdul Carter as a Bengals fan, so I'm giving them Travis Hunter. That's what I'm doing here. I really am curious what they do, though. Do you play him both ways? He has said, I am going to play both ways when they announce my name on the podium. I want them to say running back and corner, or wide receiver and cornerback. So I'm curious where he, what ends up happening.
Probably have like a package for him or something. Keep him happy.
I think he kind of makes more sense at corner. Personally, he doesn't really have anything from a wide receiver. Like he has no elite trade as a wide receiver.
What about like corner and like full-time corner and like red zone receiver?
I think that's what they're going to have to do. I think it's going to be too hard to play both ways in the pros. I think he's going to try, but I think it's going to be too hard. All right, Giants on the clock next.
Really quick on that? I just remembered. I'm in a fantasy football league where you have a defensive player.
Ooh, interesting.
Dude,
can you take him?
He'd probably go number one if, like, as a defensive player.
So, right, because he plays both ways. He might play both ways.
Because, like, the upside of, like, because he could put up, like, 50 points because of the defensive playing points, and, like, let's say he catches a touchdown or two. That'd be insane. And also, you don't know what's going to happen.
Exactly. So you risk it because, like, you draft before the season. So it's actually funny to say that. I was texting Aaron. We're in that offense-defense league where you draft offensive players and defensive players. You have a 50-man roster, and you have starters at every defensive position. We were asking, how early do you think he goes? Like, normally a rookie wide receiver would probably go in, like, the 9th round, depending on how good they are, 7th round. But if he plays both ways, do you take him end of the first, early second, before you even know what's going to happen? So that's something we'll have to talk about as we get deeper into this.
Yeah, that's wild.
Pick 3 for the Giants. I think they go Abdul Carter. I don't think they're going quarterback here. I just think
interesting.
This is what they do. I think they're interested in some of the quarterbacks. Like I said, I think they like Shador. I think they like Jackson Dart. I think they'll probably trade up at the end of the draft if they want one of them to get that 5th-year option. Or they'll wait till early second round because quarterbacks just aren't great in this class, and it's hard to pass on a stud edge rusher. They do have Kayvon Thibodeau, who they took a couple years ago, who's kind of going to the end of his deal. Potentially, maybe they trade him, right? He hasn't really produced. Maybe you trade him, try and get a 3rd or 4th round pick, get a little extra draft capital, and move on from that contract. So I think Abdul Carter makes a lot of sense here. Patriots, I'm going to go Will Campbell with this pick. Yeah, I took Will Campbell. He's starting to fall a little bit. Tackle from LSU. Arm length was an issue for him, which he barely measured in with like what tackles need to measure in with arm length. So like he didn't measure in it at the combine, but his pro day he measured in on. The measurements are stupid, but they're important, especially for a lineman. They whiffed on I think every single tackle in free agency. They didn't fill the O-line with anyone, so I think they need a tackle here. I think it's pretty straightforward. Receiver can make sense too. All right, so Jaguars, this is the one where I originally had them going Mason Graham just because I think he's probably the 5th best player in the class. They need help along the defensive line. All this shit's coming out now, like we talked last week, all this smoke. And it's like, what do you believe? What's true? What's not true?
Believe what was being said in the beginning.
Yes, like a week or two ago. But I changed it, and I'm changing my mind. So I'm going to go with Tet McMillan. I think he's kind of like your T. Higgins for Trevor Lawrence. He's that bigger body receiver. He could go here. He could fall all the way to like, I think there's some people who have him go to this. Like I've seen him fall to the Seahawks at 18. So like he's one of those guys that hit or miss. This could completely blow up my mock draft if he doesn't go here, and I could be fucked. But yeah, I'm gonna go Ted McMillan, wide receiver there. I think they're gonna go wide receiver. This one, I'm going to go Ashton Genty with the Raiders. So this has been like one of the most mocked players to teams leading up to today. And today that, again, got all blown up, and people are now saying they're going to pass on Ashton Genty. But
So he's like minus 200
to go to the
Raiders. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds about right. So I stuck with it. I think I even asked you before we got on this. I was like, should I change it one more time? Should I have him fall to the Bears? Bears might want to trade up.
Really?
Yeah, I think they love Ashton Genty. I do. Like, it's one of those worst.
Do you think the running back thing is getting a little too much? Like we're swinging the wrong way just because of what Saquon did?
It's definitely swinging back the other way. I think.
But do you think it's going to go too far? Because I feel like trading up for a running back in the first round is a little ridiculous.
I do agree with you. I do agree that it's bad management. It's bad team management. I wouldn't do it personally, but. Yeah, maybe it is swinging too far. We'll see another running back here in the first round, and I'm curious. I'd have to look it up when the last time there was 2 running backs taken in the first round of the draft. It's probably been a while.
Yeah.
It's probably been at least 3 or 4 years. One more thing with this mock draft. I didn't do any trades. I don't do any trades because it's too hard to predict. Yeah. So I count them as correct if I get the team to player. So like Steelers, if they trade up to pick 8 and take Shedeur Sanders, and I have them taking Shedeur at 21, I'm counting that as correct because I got the team and player match correct. Is that fair? Does that seem fair?
That's fine.
Okay. All right. Jets. I'm going to go offensive line here for the Jets. They need a tackle. They've been trying to draft tackle for the last few years. They've whiffed on a few free agents. They need to shore up the trenches. Aaron Glenn comes from the Lions, who their turnaround happened when they took Penei Sewell. So I think they take Armand Membo here from Missouri, who I think is a pretty good tackle prospect. Panthers, I'm going to go my first linebacker that we talked briefly before. I'm going to go Jalen Walker. Again, ton of smoke here for these two guys. Panthers defense sucks. They need probably every position across the board on defense. I think they just take the best player that they have on the board, which is Jalen Walker. Saints, I have them taking Calvin Banks, who is I've talked about before as one of the guys I want the Bengals to draft. Seems like he is rising up every single draft board recently. And there's a team inside the top 10 that loves him, and I'm going to assume it's the Saints. So I'm going to take Calvin Banks Jr. for the Saints. He can play guard or tackle, help fill in some needs there. And then Bears, I'm going to go Tyler Warren. I think this is where Tyler Warren falls. Bears have been trying to. I'm just curious about what your thoughts are on this. Tyler Warren to the Bears.
What do the Bears need?
They kind of need everything. So like running backs, big need, Ashton Genty. But if he goes, I've seen people mocking the running back from North Carolina, Omarion Hampton, to the Bears at 10, which feels like a massive reach. The Bears have been trying to find that tight end for a while, and you got to think of Ben Johnson. He had Sam Laporta at the Lions. I think he's trying to build that similar type of offense that he had with the Lions.
I like that pick. Tyler Warren's a freak.
He's a stud.
He was all Penn State's offense.
Yes, and he can block really well. Like he's one of those guys you can put him in line, or you can spread him out wide. He's going to be a great blocker. I think Colson Loveland from Michigan's a more dynamic tight end in the pass game, but you can do so much with a tight end like Tyler Warren. Think of like your George Kittles, Sam Laporta's. They can block, they can run routes, they can catch passes. I think it'll be a big piece for their offense. And it's Ben Johnson. He wants to go offense.
Yeah, really quick.
Yeah.
The last time 2 running backs were taken in the first round was Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs in 2023. But before that was 2010.
Holy shit. 2010?
Yeah.
Who were they?
Didn't tell me.
Doesn't tell you?
But I asked Google twice, and it said the last time 2 running backs were picked in the first round was 2021, and it said Joe Mixon and Saquon Barkley. And then I asked again. And it gave me a different answer. It gave me Sony Michel and Jerick McKinnon, but Jerick McKinnon was drafted 39th.
Yeah, okay. So
dude, AI is not ready.
It's not. Yeah, it's a little broken. It's still a little broken.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so San Fran at pick 11. I think they need again a lot of help, especially on the defensive line, both D line and O line. But I think they take Mason Graham here, who, if you would have said this, if I would have done this 2 weeks ago, no way he gets past, I would say, the Raiders at 6. So I think they get an absolute steer here. He's the, by far the best interior defensive lineman. Play the run, play the pass. He's not the most athletic or freakish guy, but I think he's the most solid player on the interior defensive line. So I'm going to go ahead and Mason Graham there. That was when I was messing with all freaking day today. I just couldn't figure it out. Cowboys, again, I think they go Matthew Golden here, wide receiver.
Really?
Yeah, I think they go There's a ton of smoke around Matthew Golden going to the Cowboys.
I thought you were going to say this was the team taking another running back.
No, they might though. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. I wouldn't be. I think Jerry Jones is a little bit. I think he's kind of in that we can figure out running back later type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're picking 12. Do we really need to take a running back?
Yeah,
I guess they took Zeke.
I get it.
They did take Zeke a couple of years ago. Or not a couple of years ago. It's been like 10 now. But I'm gonna go Matthew Golden. There's that picture surfacing of him and Jerry Jones hugging at his visit. He's a Texas guy.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's where he goes. He's another one where I had him originally down here somewhere, and then I kind of changed it all around, and I think he goes 12 to the Cowboys, which would be fun. I think it'd be a fun one. Pair him with, I think he'd also be a good fit next to CeeDee Lamb. Dolphins going corner here because Jalen Ramsey requested a trade. I think he gets traded on draft day, either Thursday or Friday. So I think they need to shore up their back end a little bit without Jalen Ramsey. Dolphins are a dumpster fire right now. Again, they kind of need every and all position.
It's wild.
You think Tyreek Hill gets traded?
I was going to ask you if they do something Tyreek.
I think he'll get traded. I do. I don't think they want to do it. I saw a video surfacing today of him holding his 3-month-old baby over the ledge of his 35th story balcony during this most recent domestic dispute with his wife.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's bad. It's tough. I just wouldn't. Who wants to deal with that? Why would you want to deal with that especially a team like the Dolphins who has enough of that shit going on?
Just give him to Philly for a 5th rounder.
Yeah, just 1 year, try and win a Super Bowl. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes back to the Chiefs, honestly.
Yeah.
They trade him for a 5th, 3rd or 4th rounder.
They got Kareem Hunt back.
They did. They did get Kareem Hunt back. And that worked out fine.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go for Colts. Again, second tight end off the board in the top 14 picks. I can see him. I think he'd also be a great fit with the Chargers, Michigan man. So he's another one that I think could fall a little bit. I think this is as high as he goes, is the Colts. But Colts have been looking for a tight end for a few years now. I think it is their biggest need that they have on offense. Gives whoever is playing quarterback there this year a little bit of a safety blanket. Maybe they're Brock Bowers type of guy. Yeah, Danny Dimes. You think he ends up being quarterback?
I don't think Anthony Richardson is good.
We talked. Yeah, I think we talked about that a lot over last year.
He's brutal to watch.
He's tough to watch. Yeah, man, that fantasy draft where I auto picked him over Joe Burrow. God,
that's crazy.
Terrible. This is crazy. Atlanta. This is where I think you'll see a lot of D linemen or edge rushers go off the board. So at pick 15, the guy here who I think most people have going to the Falcons is, where is it? No, we want the edge rushers, is Mike Green. But he's got a couple of sexual assault charges that are kind of out there. I could see him being one of those character fallers. Not that many teams met with him. It was the Falcons and the Commanders. There's been smoke of him going to the Bengals, which I don't know if I'd love. But I'm going to go, who did I have? I think I had Micah Williams. I had Micah Williams, them taking the Georgia defensive end, Micah Williams. Again, he's another one of these guys who wide range of outcomes, all the talent in the world, but just didn't really put a ton of production out there.
Yeah, but Georgia guys have that,
exactly,
that pedigree.
And there's so many of them that need to eat that sometimes they all can't eat, right? He has all the traits in the world, but there's only a certain amount of them that can fill up the stat sheet. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes to the Bengals. If he's there for the Bengals, I think they might jump all over him. Cardinals, this is, again, a pick that I made in hopes of my Bengals getting the player that I want them to take.
Oh, here we go.
So I have them taking Shamar Stewart. I think the Bengals are really high on Shamar Stewart. He is. Do you know what the RAS is? The RAS, the athletic score. Have you seen that little chart? So it's this little chart that they get from the combine. It's out of 10. It's all your measurables, your 40, your whatever your broad jump, your all that stuff they do at the combine. He scored a 10 out of 10, which is the highest you can do. It's like impossible to score a 10 out of 10. He's probably the number one ranked defensive end out of thousands that have ever done it.
So why is he going to 16?
He has 4.5 sacks over 3 years in college.
Gotcha.
And that's it. So
why is he going in the first round? Because he's an athlete?
Because he's an athletic freak. And he's 6'5", like 260. Like, he's huge, and he's still running like a 4.4 something, 40-yard dash. Like, someone's going to fall in love with the traits and take him. I don't want it to be the Bengals because the Bengals need someone who I need someone I can count on for some production, not to bank on the Bengals coaching staff and front office of all people to develop him. So I have the Cardinals taking him. So hopefully he's gone because I think the Bengals really like him. So, Shamar Stewart.
And the children and I would enjoy a breeze now and then.
I can fix that.
That's every NFL GM. Do you know what that's from?
Yes. That's is it Holes?
It is, Brian. Look at you, dude. Yeah.
Talking
that's
about building the house, fixing the house?
Yeah. That's like every NFL GM when there's like some character flaws and they're like blatantly bad. Or
Yes.
it's like an athletic freak, but he only had 4 sacks in 3 years.
It's nuts.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
only 1.5 his last 2. Only 1.5 sacks his last 2 years. He had 3 sacks his freshman year.
That's crazy. All right.
Yes. So I hope he's gone before the Bengals pick. I kind of put him there. You know, the Cardinals need edge help.
I don't know. He kind of fits your profile with like Auden Tate.
No, he is a Bengals prototypical 6'5", 260 freak athlete. That's why I'm nervous that they're going to take him. So I want him gone before the Bengals take him.
Yeah.
If they take him, I'm going to love him though. I'm going to be pumped if they take him, right?
Of course you are.
So pick 17, Bengals, my Bengals. I'm going to take Walter Nolan, the guy I think I want the most for the Bengals. They really need some interior pass rush. He's great against the run and is just a freak on the inside. He's a menace. He's powerful. He's strong. He's quick first step. He's your Geno Atkins that they've been missing for the last couple of years, since he retired. They really, really obviously need some pressure. I'm assuming they're going to keep Trey Hendrickson. You re-signed Joseph Osai and Miles Murphy to play on the other side. So like you have your 3 defensive ends. We need a little bit of pressure on the inside, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go Mike Green, if they go Jahad Campbell, if they go Shamar Stewart, if they go Micah Williams. Apparently they love all these guys with all these character concerns. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed that it's Walter Nolan. I personally would want Malachi Stark second because he's your Jesse Bates replacement that they haven't been able to replace. He fits Al Golden's system super well as kind of your free safety who can completely cover the back end and while you have your guys play man. So I'm going to go Walter Nolan there. And then for the Seahawks interior offensive line, again, they did not do this in free agency. They haven't. Okay, so this is one that's weird with PFF. This guy is not a tackle. He's never played tackle, but they have him listed as a tackle. Gray Zabel from North Dakota State. I think he's going to be the first pure guard off the board, and I think he goes to Seahawks. I could also see them taking wide receiver since they traded away all the receivers. So that is, again, not a Buka there. I'm thinking. I was thinking about what we talked about. It was like, he doesn't really fit because it's similar to Jack Smith and did, but that wouldn't make sense.
Man.
Buccaneers, I'm going to go Jahad Campbell. I think he would go top 12 if he didn't have any injury concerns. Buccaneers need edge and linebacker help. He's your hybrid edge linebacker who I originally had fallen to the Eagles, which would have been unfair to the rest of the league if he fell to the Eagles, but we'll see what happens. I saw him going to the Eagles in some other mocks, so if I were you, that's who I would want, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Broncos, this is actually one of the ones I bet. I think they're trying to trade up for a running back. I think they're trying to get ahead of like the Cowboys because I think you're right. I think maybe they want to take Omarion, like potentially what if they want to take Omarion Hampton? He's kind of your second. Were you waiting for that this entire time?
What are you talking about, dude?
Yeah. I think Broncos desperate need a running back. I think he's a good fit. Sean Payton, I think it's going to make this happen. I actually bet on this being their first, not him specifically, but they would take running back as their first pick. It was like plus 150 when I took it. So I think they're going to go running back here. If not, wide receiver, I think is another good option. They need some wide receiver help. All right, this is the one. Shadur Sanders. when I first did this, I did not have him going in the first round. I think I don't know how much they like him, but I couldn't not put him in the first round. I feel like I had to throw him in there. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart's got better physical tools, but Shedeur Sanders is a little bit safer. It kind of reminds me of Kenny Pickett when they took Kenny Pickett a couple years ago, so I don't know if they do it again.
That's crazy.
But what do you think?
Do you think Aaron Rodgers signs with anyone?
No.
Really?
I think he's waiting it out for the Vikings. I don't think he's going to sign with the Steelers.
Okay, I've been saying that all offseason. You've been telling me I've been wrong.
I think he wants to go to the Vikings. Did you see his interview?
No.
He basically said the meeting was great. I love Mike Tomlin. I want to go to a team that is ready to win now. I want a chance to win a Super Bowl. I don't know how many years I have left. I don't know how committed I am to be playing football. Like, I could also see it being he doesn't want to go do all this training camp and offseason shit, so he's just waiting as long as possible. And then it's not a distraction because Aaron Rodgers isn't, he's on the Steelers, but he's not at training camp or not at OTAs and all that stuff, and he's your quarterback.
Do you think the Steelers are ready to win now? Because I feel like they made the playoffs last year, right?
Yeah, no, I think they're close. I definitely think they're close. I don't think they're as close as, say, Minnesota is, if Minnesota has a quarterback. But
yeah.
I think with Mike Tomlin, anything is possible. Obviously, they're that team. They haven't had a losing season. They made the playoffs. But the problem is they won the playoffs in 7 years. Like, why do we think that's going to change? They've lost like 7 playoff games in a row.
They haven't had a quarterback?
Yeah, it's true.
Next question.
Even with Ben, though, they lost a couple with Ben, but they need some help on the defensive line.
Himself.
Yeah, he was. He was getting old. That was the season they went 11-0, and they're like the worst 11-0 team in football.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is kind of where he fits in. I don't know. Tomlin and the Sanders family just feels like that would make a ton of sense. Although I heard his meeting with the Steelers went really bad. I didn't know what to do with him, so I threw him here. And I didn't want to do trades. I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants or Saints trade up for him at the end of the first round. All right, Chargers. I got Kenneth Grant. Perfect fit. Freaking Harbaugh gets his trenches, interior defensive line from Michigan. Like, can't write it up any better. If he's there, I would put $500 on him being the pick.
That's crazy.
Do you disagree? Or
no, I agree. I think
yeah.
If it was Harbaugh's choice, he'd only draft Michigan guys.
That's what I'm saying. It'll be, if Colson Loveland's there, it might get a little dicey. Also a Michigan guy. Also Will Johnson. We'll see. One of those three. No, I don't think they'll go cornerback. They took a couple corners last year, but I think this is a perfect fit for them. Packers, I have Derek Harmon, interior defensive tackle. He's one of those guys that a lot of people have ranked as a top 10 to 15 player, but he has some injury concerns. So like originally I had him going kind of up here by the 49ers area. I think they'll also be in on Walter Nolan, who I had the Bengals taking. But injury concerns, we see this all the time where players can fall. I think not necessarily the biggest need for the Packers, but I think he'll just be one of the best players on the board, and that's where his fall stops. Vikings, I have Nick Emmanwori, safety from South Carolina. He's just an athletic freak. I think he is going to be your...
How do you say his name?
Nick Emmanwori.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a freak, physical freak. I think it makes a lot of sense. Harrison Smith's 36 years old. He's your replacement on the back end. They need some back end help. Were they a little bit weak last year and they lost their other starting safety in free agency, so they need to replace that. And I think they go for the upside in Emmanwori over the kind of safety net of Malachi Starks. Houston absolutely needs offensive line after trading away Laramie Tunsil. So I have them going Josh Simmons out of Ohio State. He got hurt last year. Again, he's getting top 10 buzz this year, though. I don't know why. I don't think I would want him in the top 10 just because coming off a patellar tendon injury at that as an offensive lineman feels a little bit difficult to come off of. But everyone's saying he's going in the first round. So I have Houston taking him as their kind of tackle of the future.
So you're just going with what everyone else is saying?
No, I mean, everyone's saying he's going in the first round. I'm just trying to find a place for him to fit. You know what I'm saying?
You.
And they need an offensive lineman. He can play guard.
Not a receiver?
No, I didn't have him taking receiver. Well, who would you take as a receiver for him?
You don't want to put the Ohio State guys together?
Ooh, that would be sick, wouldn't it? I can't do it though. They need offensive
What's
line
that?
help so badly. I said I can't. I think that's a good fit actually. That would be
No, I
fun.
feel you. Yeah, yeah, it'd be interesting.
Mecca Ibuka. Also Ohio State though. Josh Simmons also Ohio State. So
It's a good point. It's a good point. It's a good
no,
point.
I think their offense is like we all saw it last year in the playoffs throughout the entire year. Offensive line kind of got decimated.
You need that. It's crazy how it's just like I know it's very important, but like it's like the one of those things is like the older you get when you watch the draft as a kid, you're like, oh, why didn't he draft and they got
A wide
nothing.
receiver.
Yeah. a running back. Give the second pick.
Yes.
Why don't you get the best one?
Yes.
It's like you grew up playing Madden and you just want to be that guy.
And you want to watch the fun. You want to watch you want to watch the fun players. Sometimes you need the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, no one's ever said like, I can't wait to go see Josh Simmons block that guy.
My first round pick. I can't wait to watch my first round pick, Josh Simmons, especially as like a 12-year-old. Yeah.
It's like, dude.
But you got to do it. They're expensive.
CJ Stroud's going to have 3 more tenths of a second to throw the ball this year.
That makes a massive difference.
That's what I'm saying. But tell that to a 12-year-old, they're like, what the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, right. They're like, I hate this. I hate the terrible pick. I used to be that way too. So like, especially come Bengals where you always had star receivers. But I do think that'd be fun. Mecca Ibuka, I think, would be fun, but they need to do something on the offensive line. Rams, I think, are that one of those teams for Jackson Dart, maybe, that takes a quarterback. I didn't have him going that route here, but I think it would fit well with Sean McVay. Like, if anyone can turn him into a stud, why not Sean McVay? But I have them going cornerback here. They definitely needed some help on the back end. Problem for them last year. Maxwell Hairston, who cornerback out of Kentucky, is super fast, kind of athletic, traitsy guy. Take a flyer on him to start a cornerback. This is the pick I think I hate the least for me personally in this entire draft. The Ravens, I know it's going to happen. They're going to end up with Malachi Starks. He's falling down draft boards just because he didn't test that great. But if he would have come out last year, he would have been a top 10 pick. Had a little bit of a down year. This is like Kyle Hamilton all over again. He's a different player than Kyle Hamilton. Kyle Hamilton can kind of play anywhere across the field. He's your legitimate free safety. Ravens got destroyed on the back end last year. Marcus Williams is no longer with the team. He comes in and starts immediately, and they probably get a top 12 player in this class at pick 27. That's what the Ravens do. That's how they're so good. They just find a way to find these guys, and I think he's going to fall a little bit, and it's going to bum me out a lot because that's who I want the Bengals probably to take second after Walter Nolan. Lions, they're going to get a Dan Campbell guy. They're going to get Tyler Booker, guard from Alabama, replace Kevin Zeitler, who left in free agency. This guy is like the prototypical locker room guy. He's your, he told everyone, don't even think about not playing in the bowl game, even though around the championship. Like, you got to come through me if you're not going to play in this game. We're brothers. We're all going to lay it out on the field in whatever bowl game they played in this year. Like, it's Dan Campbell, if I ever heard anyone be Dan Campbell, and they need some interior offensive line help. So that felt like a perfect fit. Mike Green to the Commanders. He's one of the few teams that have actually talked to him. Again, super high upside. He's a little bit smaller, but he has some character issues with the sexual assault charges. I think he'd fit really well in Dan Quinn's system. I think he'd be really high on him. I think they would find a way to utilize him, and I think it just makes sense. I think he could go way, way higher if some team loves him, but I think he falls here due to the character concerns. Buffalo Bills, I think they end up with Will Johnson, quarterback Michigan, another guy who, if he would have come out last year, 2 years ago, he would have been a top 10 pick. Has some injury concerns. Some stuff has come out about potential long-term issues with his knee. So I actually had him up here at 13 with the Dolphins, and I dropped him all the way down to 30, just given those concerns. But a very good player overall. I think they'd be really happy with him. It's just that longevity concern that might drop him down a little bit. And then Chiefs, I have taking Josh Connerly, offensive tackle from Oregon. I think we all saw this last year. They need offensive line help similar to Houston. He can play guard, he can play tackle. So maybe he starts at guard and then flips over to tackle to help fix some of their issues there. And then the Eagles. The best edge rusher I have left, because I think they're going to take a defensive lineman, Donovan Ezerike. I'm probably saying his name wrong. Boston College. Plays the pass really well. Plays the run really well. I think he would just fit really well with the Eagles. And that is my final pick.
What do they give you on? What grade they give you?
I don't know. Did they give me a grade?
It said grading your
No.
draft.
Doesn't give me a grade.
Bastards.
Bastards.
They lied.
So this is my thing. I got to take a screen. How do I take a screenshot on this bitch? Hold on. I'm getting it.
All right.
Thoughts?
Dude, I don't do any of this. So you could have, I mean, I know like the first like 5 every year. And then,
Yes.
there's like the names like Genty, Tyler Warren, Colson Loveland. Like I know Shador Sanders, obviously.
Yeah.
But then after that, I'm like, I don't really care until I see them play,
Yeah. I do have a lot of fun with it though, because like doing this,
It looks fun. It seems fun.
Yes.
Like the talk about trading your picks is fun as well.
Yes.
But it's just,
and that's what. So leading up to this, like this draft, first draft in like 20 years that hasn't had a trade already with first round picks in like 20 years. But all the buzz today is that come Thursday, there's going to be a ton of movement. Like there's going to be a ton of trades. People are going to be moving up and around. I think it's because you have your kind of top 3 or 4. You have your Travis Hunter, Abdul Carter, Cam Ward, obviously going to the Titans. And then you got like Will Campbell, and then even maybe Mason Graham as like your stud players. But everyone else has similar grades. And it's kind of going to be a pick your poison type of thing. So people are going to go try and get the pick they want because it's going to be – there isn't really chalk this year because it's all over the place. So I don't think anyone has a real good idea of what people are going to want. So I think people are going to move up to get who they want. So I think it'll be fun come Thursday. I think there's going to be a lot of trades.
Yeah, it's always interesting.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well,
That's it. That's all I got.
Take notes.
My mouth is dry.
Yeah. All right, let's do our picks. How did we do last week? I don't remember what I picked.
How do I unshare this? See this? Look at us.
Dude, look at us.
Look at us. That was really easy.
That was
really
easy
to do.
Technology.
All right, and then next week we'll go over how many I got right, which hopefully is more than like 3. All right.
Since we're talking about the NBA.
What does that hat say?
Washington Wizards.
Oh, nice. That is a sick hat, though. All right. So last week we both went 2-1. I had Pacers minus 5.5. Yeah, which is good. Pacers minus 5.5. Golden State money line, and then over. The one that lost was over 2016.5. Lakers Minnesota. I think it got close if I remember correctly. And then you had Clippers plus 2.5. They lost by 2, so that was a nice cover. I'm curious how that game. I don't know if you watched the end of it. I'm curious if they scored at the end of the game to help you cover that one. You had New York Detroit over 220.5, which hit, and then Boston Magic 205 over. That did not hit.
Yeah,
but it was close. Whew, man.
So
my mouth is. I'm like
a lot of talking, Brian.
I need water.
So you go first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let me pull it up.
All right, we're gonna do games. Let's do games. Oh shit! I think they only go to Thursday.
Oh, they do only go to Thursday.
Let's see here.
When are you gonna post this? Tomorrow?
Yeah, let's say it says. Yeah, let's see. Just want to do golf.
We can do golf. Let's each take one of the NBA ones on Thursday, and then we can do golf. That way we got a little bit of NBA in there.
It's a fucking Zurich Classic too. It's the worst tournament. All right. You go first.
I'm gonna take. I want to bet Nuggets Clippers just because it's more fun. Knicks business is fun. Give me Pistons money line on Thursday.
Oh, okay.
Hold on, let me write that down. Write that down.
Man, now the Clippers -5. That's crazy.
That's why I want to bet that game, but I didn't really like the line.
All right, I'll go over 214.5 for
Nuggets Clippers.
Yeah.
Okay. Over 214.5. Denver Clippers, and that is -110.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I think what was mine? -110 as well. Perfect.
All right, so the Zurich Classic is a
Dumpster fire.
No, it's the team event.
Oh, fuck.
I know. Let's just both pick one team.
Okay.
Top 10. Obviously can't pick Rory and Lowry, but anyone else. Just do top 10. And that's it. Because
Can I pick them top 5?
You can pick them top 5.
I'm going to go Shane Lowry, Rory McIlroy, top 5.
Okay.
Do you hate that or do you love that?
No, I mean,
I love that.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
I love that for me. What is it? Minus 120. Let's pick two teams.
All right. I'll go JT Poston, Keith Mitchell, top 10, plus 160.
Plus 160. Okay. All right. I'm going to go for my next one. Although Rory might just be like, fuck it. I won the Masters. I don't need to play anymore. I doubt it, but
It's
he's
funny.
just out there like ripping.
It's funny you
shots.
think professional athletes think like that.
No, I'm kidding. Let's see. Give me Taylor Moore and Wyndham Clark. Top 10.
Your boy Wyndham.
I know I'm not the biggest fan, but actually, like the field's kind of weird. There isn't as many people in this as I thought there'd be.
No, it's after a elevated event. I'm sure Rory's getting. They're like, hey, play in this, please.
Well, I heard he got fined like $2.9 million or something for missing the Zurich or the not the Zurich, the event at Harbour Town.
$2.9 million.
Yeah,
that's worth a Rory fined missing. What was it? Harbour
I heard
Town?
this from a not great source. So
Rory skips PGA event that costs him $3 million.
So it was a good source.
I mean, that's talksport.com. Let's see. Yeah, 2.9. Oh my God, dude.
I think it's because it's an elevated event. But I think like our whole point last year, the money doesn't really matter to him. He's like, fuck it, I'm going to go hang with my boys in Ireland and get hammered and celebrate.
Okay, so it's money that he hasn't made yet.
Okay. So it's future earning off of future earnings?
The PIP. That was it. Wait, that was 2023. Hold on.
Sorry, I know I threw a wrench into this entire
No,
thing.
this is interesting because I'm actually curious about this. Roy not playing he will not be punished for doing so back in the PGA Tours. Fine players. That rule is no longer in place. What the hell? Said that it's an easy decision. I felt like it was fine. I don't think he's getting fined.
Okay. Bad source.
Maybe. I don't know.
My father. Terrible source.
Because he got fined for doing that in 2023 for $2.9 million.
Maybe the backlash was so bad of like, are you shitting me that they got rid of it?
Roy's not expected to return until... Maybe that's why he's playing in this?
Maybe.
Okay, fortunately for Rory McIlroy, signature events are no longer mandatory, so he is free to skip the RB Heritage without consequences.
Okay, so it was 2 years ago where he got fined.
Yeah.
Still nuts.
I mean, nothing happened.
Yeah. 2 years ago, though. $2.9 million.
Yeah, that's like he wipes his ass with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter to him, but
I'll go to the Højgaard brothers. Rasmus and
you
Nikolai.
love the Højgaards. I feel like you pick them all the time.
I know. They're playing well. Plus 230.
It's kind of cool that they get to play together.
Yeah.
I'm writing down Højgaard brothers
Perfect.
in the bet. And then you had them plus 230. Sweet.
Plus 230.
Top 10, baby. All right, so you think you'll watch the draft or not really?
No, I'll watch it. It will be on a screen.
What do you want the Eagles to do?
I don't care. I trust them.
That is a great answer because why? What have they done to not make you trust them? Nothing. They're awesome.
They can do whatever they want for the next 5 years, and I won't say a word.
They could trade their entire draft for Trey Hendrickson, and you'd be happy.
Sure. I mean, seven picks for just this year.
But isn't that wild? Like that's where the Eagles are at. No, you'd probably give him a contract, and he would stay for like 3 or 4 years if you trade.
Yeah, no, but you're just saying trade the whole draft, like trade picks.
Yep.
Round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 2025.
Yep.
For Trey Hendrickson. Why wouldn't I do that? Aren't they asking for like 3 first rounds?
No, I think that's a lie. I think that they want 1 first round pick.
I'd probably do that. Do they have money?
The Eagles, yeah, Eagles have all the money. They manipulate the cap. They're gonna be fucked in like 5 years, but that doesn't matter right now.
It's fine.
Yeah.
The window's now. The window's now.
I love that.
And the cap's
I love that answer.
And
yes.
And like you go after the window you are now. You don't do
correct
what the Warriors did with like, oh, we can have this generation play with the young generation, and then their picks suck. You don't remember that?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
James Wiseman.
Yep. That was weird. He was like the biggest prospect in years.
It happens.
Tank.
Happens.
Cooper Flag. Could happen.
Not with the Warriors. Oh, you're saying being bust.
Yes.
Yeah, it could happen. I mean, Christian Laettner happened.
Yeah,
I'm not just saying that because he's white. But
I wasn't assuming that, but
I also kind of am.
Clarifying.
You know, trying to think of other white guys.
I see how you put that together. Duke, white.
They also went to Duke.
Yeah.
That was a secondary thought.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we all know where you keep your thoughts. All right, Brian. Why don't you tell the people where they can find us?
You can find us at Traveling Athlete Pod on X, not Twitter.
Or both.
Twitter or X. Traveling Athlete Pod on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And
wait. What's our hold on. Let's try this again. Where can they find us on X?
Traveling Athlete Pod.
No.
At Traveling Athlete Pod.
No.
At Traveling Athlete?
No. At Athlete Pod.
At Athlete Pod.
Only on Twitter. And
only
X.
on Twitter. I do a lot of the tweets, so that's on me for not doing that.
Yeah. It is on you. Where else can they find us?
They can find us at Traveling Athlete Pod on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
And then they can find us at Athlete Pod on Instagram.
No. Brian. You can follow us on Twitter /X at Athlete Pod, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at Traveling Athlete Pod.
Exactly what I said.
And we'll be back when?
Next week.
Yes, sir.
Oh, shit. We gotta do it again, dude. Left the lens cap on.